Good evening to all of you. Hi guys, this is CA Rohit Grover, practicing chartered accountant, and I qualified in year 2013, and I am a faculty of law and audit subjects in intermediate level along with the strategic management, and I also teach the CA final auditing, right? So what I thought that during this COVID-19 time, so let's bring together some of the topics relating to company audit or every topic whichever I'll be keep on receiving the request from all of you guys, so I'll keep on uploading those topics. So let's make a small videos of these topics relating to company audit. So let us understand the company audit, and whatever the sections we are going to cover in the company audit, they are equally applicable for both CA inter level and CA final level, and all my details are given. You can call me or you can WhatsApp me at the number given. So these are the various links provided where you can approach me also. So if you like the video, please subscribe my YouTube channel, please subscribe my Telegram channel, and please follow us on Facebook as well. So I hope this topic or this particular sections what we are going to do in the today's first small video of the company audit. So I hope you all will enjoy this topic. So let us start without any wasting the time. So today's topic is on company audit, guys. So company audit, as we all know, that it is the same topic which is applicable in CA intermediate level as well as in CA final level. So in the company audit, most of the students find the difficulty that in the company audit there are so many sections are there, and there are so many provisions relating to time periods, relating to subsections, relating to forms and all. So what I am going to try is I'm going to try to put my level best to put all these sections into a very summarized way without compromising the quality of the section, without compromising the content of the section. So I'll make sure that each and everything will be told to you. So let us start with the first topic called company audit. So I'll make sure that I'll be telling you everything with the suitable examples also. So these are the various things which you can follow me on. So let us start with the section number, first section for the company audit. So let us start with the first section of company audit relating to external audit, relating to the statutory auditors. So what is the first section we are going to do? The first section is section number 139. Now what is section number 139? This is the beginning of our company audit chapter, equally applicable for both say inter and final level. So the first section is, the name of the section is known as appointment of an auditor. What is the name of the section? Appointment of an auditor. Basically, there is one penultimate section, there is one preceding section also, that is called section number 138. But that section covers which audit? Internal audit. So that section will cover separately in some another small topic. But now we are going to start from section number 139, and I will travel from 139 to 148. I will cover all the sections relating to the company audit. And when we talk about section number 139 to 138, all the sections from 139 to 148 talks about statutory audits only. And in that section number 148, we have to talk about the cost audit. So in totality, section number 139 to 147 will talk about the statutory auditor provisions, and along with that we'll do one section number 148 which is on cost audit. So I'm using the highlighter right now, I'm using the laser right now, so it will get away easily after the few seconds. So I will make sure that the each and everything in the sections will be told to you in the most elaborate manner without compromising the content of section. So let us all first start with the section called section number 139. Now what is section number 139? Section number 139 talks about appointment of an auditor. Now sir, which auditor we are talking about? Which auditor? External auditor. Or we are also talking about which auditor? Statutory auditor. We are talking about principal auditor. So these are the different names of this particular person called auditor. So section number 139 talks about appointment of auditor. Now when we talk about section number 139, there are two different types of companies which are dealt in section number 139. One is known as government companies. What is the first company? We have to understand. First one is known as government company, And the second one is known as appointment of auditors in case of which companies? Non-government companies. So first we'll understand what do you mean by government company and what do you mean by non-government company. Now, what do you mean by government company? A government company is a company in which at least 51% of the paid up share capital is either held by central government or state government or combinedly by both. This we have already done in our interlaw in our very first chapter called Introduction of Company, where we understand the different classifications of company. So that's a very small definition. So government company is the one in which government is having a control, and that control should be of minimum how much? Minimum 51%, means more than 50% of paid up share capital is either held by central government or state government or both. And opposite to that, which company? Non-government company. A non-government company is the one in which government control is not there. So it is a company which is not a which company? Government company, right guys? So we are talking about section number 139 on appointment of an auditor in government companies and non-government companies. So this is a definition of government company and this is a meaning of non-government company. So whether it is a government company or a non-government company, there are two types of auditors will be appointed in every company. First set of auditors is known as first auditor. The first auditor of the government company will understand how to appoint the first auditor of the government company. Then we'll understand how to appoint the subsequent auditor of the government company. Then again we'll move to the right side and we'll understand how to appoint the first auditor of a non-government company, and then we'll understand how to appoint the subsequent auditor of a non-government company. So now first auditor of the government company is being dealt in section number 139 subsection 7. So again repeat, what is the section for the first auditor of the government company? Section number 139 subsection 7 talks about the first auditor of a which company? Government company. And subsequent auditor of the government company is being told in section number 139 subsection 5. So what is the section we are doing? We are doing section number 139. In that we are talking about appointment of auditor in the which company? Government company. In that we are talking about appointment of the first auditor of the government company and appointment of the subsequent auditor of the government company. The first auditor of the government company is dealt in section number 139 subsection 7, and subsequent auditor of the government company is dealt in section number 139 subsection 5. Now just keep one thing in mind guys, whenever we talk about the government company, whenever we talk about the which company? Government company, this name should be there in your mind. That is called Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Who is C&AG? Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Either it is the first auditor or it is a subsequent auditor. In both the cases, who will appoint? The C&AG will appoint the first auditor of the government company as well as the subsequent auditors of the government company. Now, how to appoint the first auditor of the government company? So let us first understand who is known as first auditor. So say for example, when a newly incorporated company is there, the first time audit will take place. When the first time audit of newly incorporated company will take place, the person who will do the audit of this newly incorporated company, that person is known as which auditor? First auditor. So I am again repeating, if there is a new registered company, new incorporated company, in this new incorporated company for its first financial year, when the first time audit will take place, that auditor is known as which auditor? First auditor. Now how to appoint the first auditor? That is being dealt in section number 139 subsection 7. Now first auditor of a which company? Government company will always be appointed by C&AG. So first auditor, as I already told you, it's a which company? Government company. So it will be always be appointed by C&AG. Who is C&AG? Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Are you getting the point? Now, what is the time period within which the C&AG must appoint? C&AG must appoint the first auditor within 60 days. Within how many days? 60 days from the date of incorporation or registration of the company. It means the very first 60 days. Now suppose company got incorporated on 7/1/2019. This is the date of incorporation. Now within 60 days, within 60 days means what? By 6/3/2019 approximately, because 7/1/2019 was the date of incorporation. So by 6/3/2019, within 60 days, C&AG must appoint the first auditor of the company. So you can read that appointed by the C&AG within 60 days from the date of incorporation or registration of the company. But sir, what if the C&AG fails to appoint in the first 60 days from the date of incorporation? Then this opportunity will be handed over to whom? Board of Directors. Then Board of Directors shall appoint the first auditor of the government company in the next how many days? 30 days. So it means after the 60 days, in the next 30 days, Board of Directors will appoint the first auditor of the government company, right? Next, sir, what if in 30 days the Board of Director also fails? Then the shareholders or the company, by conducting a which meeting? General meeting, shall appoint the first auditor within how many days? 60 days. Did you get the point? Now let us revise it. We are talking about section number 139. It talks about the appointment of an auditor of a which company? Government company. Which auditor? First auditor, to be appointed by C&AG, dealt in section number 139 subsection 7. Who will appoint? C&AG within 60 days from the date of incorporation. Sir, what if the C&AG fails? If the C&AG fails, Board of Directors will appoint in the next how many days? 30 days. And if the board fails, then who will appoint? Then the shareholders will appoint in the general meeting within how many days? Within 60 days. So first C&AG appoints. If fails, board appoints. If fails, shareholders will appoint in the general meeting. Now question is, okay sir, we appointed the shareholder, we appointed the first auditor. Now till how long this first auditor is going to hold the office? So what is the tenure of this auditor? This auditor will hold the office of auditor from the date of his appointment till the conclusion of which AGM? Not AGM. Till the conclusion of which AGM, guys? First AGM. It has to be first AGM. Are you getting the point? Because first financial year will get over. After that, first AGM will come in the month of September. So from the date of appointment, the day when he is appointed, till the conclusion of first AGM, first auditor will hold the office. Sir, what will happen on the first AGM? First auditor shall vacate. First auditor shall vacate the office. Are you getting it? So his tenure is from the date of appointment till the conclusion of first AGM. I hope everyone understood what are the provisions relating to first auditor of a which company? Government company. Now every auditor after the first auditor is known as which auditor? Subsequent auditor. He is known as which auditor? Subsequent auditor. The first time who does the audit is only known as first auditor. After the first auditor, everyone is known as subsequent auditor. Now subsequent auditor of a which company? Again, government company, is dealt in section number 139 subsection 5. Now sir, how to appoint the subsequent auditor? Still we are talking about which company, guys? Government company. So definitely one name should come to your mind. Who will appoint? C&AG will appoint. But in this case, no further delegation will be given to the Board of Directors. No further delegation will be given to the shareholders. Always C&AG only will appoint. Sir, what is the time period? Within 180 days. Within 180 days from the date of commencement of financial year. Within 180 days from the date of commencement of financial year. So sir, let us do it in a comparative way. First auditor shall be appointed by the C&AG. Subsequent auditor also shall be appointed by the C&AG. But C&AG will appoint within 60 days from the date of incorporation or registration. But here subsequent auditor will be appointed within 180 days from the date of commencement of financial year. And further, no delegation No delegation is allowed. No board of directors, no shareholders are in the picture. Now, sir, C&AG appointed subsequent auditor within 180 days from the commencement of every financial year. Okay, sir, appointed. Sir, what will be his tenure then? What will be his tenure? His tenure also will be from the date of appointment, but read it carefully, till the conclusion of which AGM? Sir, next AGM. क्योंकि up to first AGM, first auditor was there. From the next AGM onwards, AGM to AGM, the subsequent auditor will be appointed by the C&AG. Are you getting the point or not? So tenure of the first auditor of the government company is this: from the date of appointment till the conclusion of first AGM. Sir, you have already read about the first AGM and subsequent AGM in your intermediate law level. So understand, till the time of first AGM, and here he will be holding the office till the conclusion of which AGM? Next AGM. So what is the thing to be considered here? Neither first auditor nor subsequent auditor are going to be appointed for 5 years term. They are not going to be appointed for 5 years term. So it means 5 years concept of the auditor, which is we are going to understand in section number 139 subsection 2, rotation of an auditor, is not applicable in case of what? First auditor of the government company as well as what? Subsequent auditor of the government company. So let me revise the subsequent auditor again. Section number 139(5). Subsequent auditor of the government company who will appoint? C&AG will appoint. Sir, within how many days? 180 days from the date of commencement of financial year. Any further delegation? Sir, no delegation is allowed. Neither the board nor the shareholders can interfere. Sir, what will be his tenure? His tenure will be from date of appointment till the conclusion of which AGM? Next AGM. I hope up to this point everyone is clear. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to share the PDF file of these notes also. So every day I'll be uploading 1 or 2 these kind of half an hour 15 minutes files. So along with the PDF files, I'll give the link of my Google Drive in the YouTube channel itself only. So below in the description box you can see the link for the Google Drive also. When you will click that link, you will be directed to my Google Drive, and I have already given the permission to access this file, so you can download this PDF file also. So subsequent auditor and first auditor of the which company we are done with, guys? Government company. Now we are going to appoint the auditors of which company now? Non-government company. In the non-government also there are same procedure. There are 2 types of auditors. So what are the 2 types of auditors? First auditor as well as what? Subsequent auditor. Now here first auditor and subsequent auditor were dealt in 139(7) and 139(5). Here first auditor of the non-government company is dealt in 139 subsection 6 and subsequent auditor is dealt in subsection 139(1). So in case of government company, guys, first auditor is in 139(7), subsequent auditor is in 139(5). Now here in the non-government company, first auditor is in 139(6) and subsequent auditor is in 139 subsection 1. So all are covered in section number 139. Now let us understand how to appoint the first auditor of a which company? Non-government company. We will do it now and we'll then compare it with the first auditor of the government company to get a better understanding. Now in the government companies, who appoints the first auditor? In the government company, first auditor is appointed by C&AG, but in the non-government company, first auditors are always appointed by whom? Board of directors. Who appoints the first auditors of the non-government company? Board of directors. In the first auditor of government company, what was the time period for the C&AG? The time period was 60 days from the date of incorporation. Here the time period is only and only 30 days from the date of what? Incorporation. So first auditor of the non-government company will be appointed by board of directors within 30 days from the date of incorporation or registration of the company. Did you get the point, sir? Now if the board of directors failed to appoint within 30 days, then this opportunity will be given to whom? Members. So point number 2 is, if the board of directors fails, then members will conduct one meeting. Which meeting? EGM. Sir, why EGM? Because AGM is not yet conducted. Financial year is not yet concluded. Within 30 days only financial year will not be concluded, na? So we can't wait for the AGM. AGM takes place after the end of the financial year. Now still first financial year is going on. So members will conduct EGM, and in the EGM they shall appoint the auditor within how many days? 90 days. And this 90 days are already including the 30 days of board of directors. It means indirectly we are saying that next how many days? 60 days. Are you getting the point, guys? So see, let's do the revision very quickly. So first auditors will be appointed by whom? Board of directors. First auditor will be appointed by whom? Board of directors within 30 days from the date of incorporation. So board of director fails, then members will conduct a which meeting? EGM, and they shall appoint in the EGM within how many days? 90 days. It means these 90 days already inclusive of what? 30 days. It means exactly next how many days? 60 days. Then, sir, what will be the duration of this first auditor? Same as government company first auditor. From the date of appointment till the conclusion of which AGM, guys? First AGM. Again, I'm stressing on the word which AGM? First AGM. So first AGM of the first financial year, till that time only first auditor will be continuing from the date of his appointment till the conclusion of first AGM. So this what brings an end to our section number 139 subsection 6, which talks about first auditor of a which company? First auditor of a non-government company. So how to appoint the first auditor of a non-government company? To be appointed by board of directors within how many days? 30 days from the date of incorporation or registration. If the board fails, members in the EGM should appoint within 90 days. What will be his tenure? Same as first auditor of the government company, which is date of appointment till the conclusion of first AGM. Everyone clear? Sir, yes, we are clear. Okay, so let us understand subsequent auditor of a non-government company. Now subsequent auditor is what? The auditor who comes into the picture after the which auditor leaves? First auditor. So subsequent auditor is dealt under section number 139 subsection 1. Let me tell you one thing, guys. This is very important topic. It has a connection to our next topic, that is called section number 139 subsection 2, that is called rotation of an auditor. Now subsequent auditor of a non-government company is always appointed by members of the company, not by board of directors. It means only first auditor will be appointed by the board of directors within 30 days of incorporation. After the first auditor, every auditor during the lifetime of the company will always be appointed by whom? Members, right or not? And where they will appoint? Now tell me, first auditor is leaving in the which AGM? First AGM. In the very that AGM only they will appoint the subsequent auditor, and he will be appointed in what? In the AGM. In the AGM till the conclusion of which AGM, guys? Sixth AGM. So again repeating, subsequent auditor of a non-government company is always appointed by, first of all, by whom? Members. Where he will be appointed? Sir, he will be appointed in the same AGM where the first auditor left, and from that AGM till the conclusion of what? Sixth AGM he is going to continue the office. It means indirectly his duration is for how many years? 5 years. It means, what does it means? It means, point number 1, first auditor of government company not allowed for 5 years. Subsequent auditor of government company not allowed for 5 years. First auditor of non-government company also not allowed for 5 years. Who is the only person who is allowed? Subsequent auditor of non-government company is only allowed to continue up to which AGM? Up to 6th AGM for a duration of how many years? 5 years. Everyone clear? Yes, sir. I think everyone is clear. So let us understand, sir, what is his tenure? Tenure we already know, from an AGM till the conclusion of 6th AGM for a duration of how many years? 5 years. Everyone crystal clear? So let us revise all the 4 appointments in one go so that we can move to the next topic. So, sir, we are doing section number 139. What is the name of the section? Appointment of an auditor. Now, sir, please tell us, what do you mean by appointment of an auditor? Appointment can be taken place in two types of companies: government companies and non-government companies. Sir, government companies and non-government companies means what? In the government companies are those companies which are in which at least 51% of the paid up share capital is either held by central government, state government, or both. So in both the companies, there are two types of auditors: first auditors, subsequent auditors. First auditors, subsequent auditor. Now quickly do the revision with me, guys. What do you mean by first auditor? First auditor is being dealt in section number 139 subsection 7 of the Companies Act 2013. First auditor of the government company. Whenever the word government comes to our mind, one word comes to our mind. What is that word? C and AG, Comptroller and Auditor General of India. So who will appoint the first auditor? By the C and AG. Within how many days? Within 60 days, sir. From the date of incorporation. Okay, sir, we understood. After that, if the C and AG fails, board of directors will take this responsibility to appoint the first auditor in the next 30 days. Sir, what if the board fails? Then shareholders will appoint in the general meeting, or company will appoint in the general meeting within 60 days. So what is his tenure? His tenure will be from the date of appointment till the conclusion of what? First AGM. Sir, okay, sir, we are done with the first AGM of government company. Subsequent auditor of the government company dealt in section number 139 subsection 5. Sir, who will appoint? Again, government company means only one person, C and AG. Delegation or no delegation? Sir, no delegation allowed in subsequent auditor. Only C and AG will appoint. When he will appoint? Within 180 days from the date of commencement of what? Financial years. Within 180 days from the commencement of financial year. Sir, what will be his tenure? His tenure will be from the date of appointment till the conclusion of what? Next AGM, not the first AGM. First AGM in case of first auditor, next AGM in case of subsequent auditor. Then, sir, how to appoint the auditors of the non-government company? First auditor will be appointed by the whom? By the board of directors within 30 days from the date of incorporation. Compare it with the government company, it was 60 days. Here it is 30 days. There it is C and AG. Here it is board of directors from the date of incorporation registration. But here, if the board fails, members will appoint them in the AGM within the 90 days, right? And I already told you these 90 days includes what? 30 days of the board of directors. So what is his tenure? Same as government company first auditor, from the date of appointment till the conclusion of first AGM. Then subsequent auditor, section number 139 subsection 1. Appointment by whom? Always by the members. Remember, first auditor will be appointed by board of directors, but after that every auditor of the non-government company will be appointed by members. Sir, where he will be appointed? In the AGM where the previous auditor is leaving, till the conclusion of which AGM? 6th AGM. So, sir, indirectly for a period of what? 5 years. So what is the tenure of this, guys? Tenure is from an AGM till the conclusion of 6th AGM. So that brings an end to the section number 139, which talks about what? Appointment of an auditor. Now, अभी तक section number 139 पूरा खत्म नहीं हुआ. So what is the next thing we have to understand? What are the other relevant points relating to appointment? Sir, other relevant point is, ये तो हमने समझ लिया. This we have understood कि this is what do you mean by how to appoint an auditor. But sir, before appointment, there are some issues we have to take care of. Sir, what are those issues? These are those issues. Now read. Before getting appointed by the company, it means before the above section will be applicable, auditor shall give a consent in writing declaring the 4 declarations. It means ऑडिटर को क्या करना है? ऑडिटर को अपना एक लेटर हेड निकालना है. वो लेटर हेड निकाल के उसको किसको भेजना है? वो कंपनी को भेजना है जहां पे उसको अपॉइंटमेंट का प्रपोजल आया. So what I'm trying to tell you is, auditor needs to take out his letterhead and he has to send that letterhead. On that letterhead, after writing some 4 declarations, he has to send that letterhead to the company where he got a proposal to be appointed as an auditor. So what will be written in that letterhead? उस letterhead में क्या लिखा होगा? उस letterhead में 4 चीज़ें लिखी होंगी सर. कौन कौन सी 4 चीज़ें? कि भैया मैं टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस ऑफ अपॉइंटमेंट को एक्सेप्ट करता हूँ. आई एक्सेप्ट द टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस ऑफ एंगेजमेंट एंड दीज टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस आर अप्रोप्रिएट फॉर मी. दिस इज अ फर्स्ट डिक्लेरेशन उसको देना है कि आई डोंट हैव एनी डिफिकल्टी इन डूइंग द ऑडिट विद दीज टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन. सेकेंड डिक्लेरेशन क्या देना है सर? कि आफ्टर एक्सेप्टिंग एंड इफ आई एम एक्सेप्टिंग योर ऑडिट, सर आई एम नॉट डिस्क्वालिफाइड अंडर सेक्शन 141. मैं डिस्क्वालिफाइड नहीं हूँ. किस में? सेक्शन नंबर 141 में, वो हम लोग किसी एक और वीडियो में देखेंगे, क्योंकि कंपनी ऑडिट के बहुत सारे वीडियोस आएंगे, जस्ट वेट एंड वॉच। एंड थर्ड डिक्लेरेशन क्या देगा सर, ही इज नॉट ब्रीचिंग हिज सीलिंग लिमिट ऑफ डूइंग द कंपनी ऑडिट, जो कि किस सेक्शन में लिखी हुई है, अंडर सेक्शन 141 सबसेक्शन 3 क्लॉज जी। इसका मतलब जनरली वी कैन डू द 20 कंपनी ऑडिट्स। तो आफ्टर एक्सेप्टिंग दिस कंपनी ऑडिट, आई एम नॉट ब्रीचिंग, आई एम नॉट वायलेटिंग दैट 20 लिमिट, आई एम स्टिल विद इन दैट लिमिट। सो अगेन रिपीट, व्हाट इज द फर्स्ट डिक्लेरेशन कि भैया आई अंडरस्टूड द टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन, आई अग्रीड टू वर्क अंडर दोस टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन। सेकंड डिक्लेरेशन, हु इज गिविंग, ऑडिटर इज टेलिंग टू द कंपनी दैट आई एम नॉट डिस्क्वालिफाइड अंडर सेक्शन 141. Sir, I am also not breaching my which limit? Ceiling limit, which is given under section number 141 subsection 3 clause G. And most importantly, I am a clean chit person. मैं साफ सुथरा इंसान हूँ। What do you mean by साफ सुथरा इंसान? सर, मेरे अगेंस्ट कोई भी ऑफेंस नहीं है किसी भी तरह की कोर्ट में, और कोई केस नहीं चल रहा किसी भी तरह का प्रोफेशनल मिसकंडक्ट को लेके, आइदर इन ICAI और इन एनी काइंड ऑफ डिसिप्लिनरी कमेटी। मतलब सर, मैं हूँ क्लीन चिट पर्सन, मैं जेन्युइन पर्सन हूँ, एथिकल पर्सन हूँ। नो, आई एम नॉट गिल्टी ऑफ एनी काइंड ऑफ ऑफेंस under any court, and no cases pending of any kind of professional misconduct against me, either in ICAI, our motherboard, or in any of the committee. Which committee? Disciplinary committee. Now these four declaration number 1, 2, 3, 4, who has to give? Auditor has to give. To whom? To the company. On who? On what? On his letterhead. After appointment or before appointment? Sir, before appointment. सो आई होप एवरी वन ऑफ यू अंडरस्टूड। तो बिफोर अपॉइंटमेंट हो गया ये वाला सीन, अपॉइंटमेंट एट द टाइम ऑफ अपॉइंटमेंट हो गया ये वाले प्रोविजंस, एंड नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड कि सर ऑडिटर इज अपॉइंटेड, ओके, हिज लेटर इज रिसीव्ड बाय द कंपनी, कंपनी ऑल्सो एक्सेप्टेड इट, ही इज accordingly appointed under section 139 subsection 7, 5 और 6 और 1, ओके, अपॉइंटमेंट भी हो गया। नाउ नेक्स्ट थिंग इज आफ्टर अपॉइंटमेंट क्या करना है? आफ्टर अपॉइंटमेंट वी हैव टू इंटीमेट हिज अपॉइंटमेंट। सर, किसकी अपॉइंटमेंट? ऑडिटर की अपॉइंटमेंट इंटीमेट करना है। किसको करना है? सर, ऑडिटर को ही करना है। कंपनी मस्ट इंटीमेट द अपॉइंटमेंट ऑफ एन ऑडिटर टू द ऑडिटर हिमसेल्फ विद इन हाउ मेनी डेज? Within 7 days from the conclusion of what? AGM. And same intimation we have to give to the ROC that we have appointed our statutory auditor within how many days? Within 15 days from the conclusion of AGM in form number what? ADT 1. So we are giving the two intimation, one to the auditor, one to the ROC. To the auditor we are intimating within 7 days of conclusion of AGM. To the ROC we are intimating within 15 days of the conclusion of AGM. And when we are intimating to the ROC, we have to take care of form number what? ADT 1. So again, this provision was at the time of appointment. This provision is what? Before the appointment. And this provision is what? After the appointment. I hope everyone is crystal clear with section number 139 with the subsections 6, 7, 5, 1. What is 6? First auditor of a non-government company. What is 7? First auditor of a government company. What is 5? Subsequent auditor of a government company. And what is 1? Subsequent auditor of a non-government company. I hope I made everyone clear about this section. So this is at the appointment, this is before the appointment, and this is happening after the appointment. That brings an end to our first section called section number 139. I hope everyone is crystal clear. Guys, please like and subscribe my channel if you really think that these videos are becoming helpful to you. I will make sure that please pass the comments also, and you please let me know on which kind of topics, on which topics of law and audit and strategic management at intermediate level and auditing at final level, which kind of topics you want me to create a video upon. I will definitely try my level best to take care of each and every request I will be taking. I need your support in this, COVID-19 time period, and let us work together all these things. Let's do the revision in this way, so that, and I will upload each and everything. फर्स्ट कंपनी ऑडिट हमने इसलिए स्टार्ट किया क्योंकि सबसे बड़ा चैप्टर है, क्योंकि ये दोनों में आता है. आइदर इट आल्सो कम्स इन इंटरमीडिएट लेवल एज वेल एज व्हाट फाइनल लेवल. फॉर एटलीस्ट 15 to 20 मार्क्स का पोर्शन है ये. सो लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड द नेक्स्ट टॉपिक गाइस. आज अपन 2 सेक्शन कवर करेंगे. 139 ऑलरेडी कवर हो गया, उसके साथ सबसेक्शन 1 कवर हो गया, सबसेक्शन 5 वी कवर्ड, सबसेक्शन 6 वी कवर्ड, सबसेक्शन 7 वी कवर्ड. नाउ विल अंडरस्टैंड सेक्शन नंबर 139 subsection 2. Very important topic which is known as what? Rotation of auditors. Means it's like a musical chairs. It's like a which chairs? Musical chairs. जो हम बचपन में when during our childhood we used to go to the birthday parties and we used to play the musical chairs. So number of participants are there, less one chair will be the number of chairs. So once the music will stop, we have to take the other. So we keep on rotating around the musical chairs and all. Same is the case with the auditor. Now, what is the purpose behind rotation of auditor? Actually, Companies Act wants to tell you one thing. Companies Act wants to tell that कि no auditor shall continue with same company for longer period of time. What is the reason? If we'll allow the auditor to continue with the same client for the longer period of time, what will happen? He may compromise his objectivity, he may compromise his independence, or he may develop a financial or family relationship with the client. So that's why we don't want an auditor to continue with the same client for longer period of time. Sir, what is that time period by which we can continue? That time period we are going to learn in section number 139 subsection 2. So I hope I made myself clear about the history of this section. So this section is being introduced to ensure that कि one particular auditor shall not continue with his same client for a longer period of time, so that he should remain independent, he should remain objective, he should not lose his independence and objectivity, and should not develop any kind of financial relationship with the client. Otherwise, independence is the only yardstick on which our whole profession is dependent upon. If we will no longer remain independent, no one will come to us for the particular topic. Now, let us understand what are the rotation of auditor provision under section 139 subsection 2. Sir, section तो अपने को पी जाना है. We have to drink these sections, and in your veins, if you cut your veins, blood should not come, sections should come. Are you understanding the point? Blood नहीं आने चाहिए, section आने चाहिए, बाहर निकलने चाहिए section. रात को 3 बजे भी तुम्हें शेक करके पूछे कि भैया सेक्शन नंबर 139(2) क्या था, you should be in a position to tell me that. So section number 139 subsection 2 talks about rotation of an auditor. What is section number 139 subsection 1? Sir, it talks about what? It talks about subsequent auditor of the which company? Non-government company. तो भैया सेक्शन तो अपने अंदर घोट के पीना है, क्योंकि CA फाइनल के बाद no one is going to teach you anything. All these things first and the last time you are doing. And intermediate level में what is the benefit? If you learn the sections now, the burden of learning the sections in CA final will be very less. Auditing specially, sections are very important to be quoted in the examination. So make sure that you are understanding the sections and the meaning of section. What is a small trick? भैया हम लोग छोटी वीडियो डालेंगे. We are going to put a small video. एक पेज लो, empty पेज लो, उसमें डालो सेक्शन नंबर के आगे वो डालो. हर रोज 5 मिनट डिवोट करो the whatever the sections you have done in that particular day. And by the time our company audit will be over and remaining sections will be over, so much a huge list of section will be prepared. You can refer it again and again, and dhire, I'm not putting a burden on you guys. Smaller steps we'll take and we'll achieve our long term goals. So let us understand what is section number 139 subsection 2. भैया ये बताता है किसके बारे में कि भैया ऑडिटर को रोटेट कब करना है. व्हाट इज द रोटेशन प्रोविजंस फॉर द ऑडिटर. नाउ फर्स्ट वी विल अंडरस्टैंड what is the meaning of the term called rotation. भैया इंडिया में there are 3 types of auditors. Sole proprietor auditors who work as a sole practicing CA, partnership firm or LLP. These are the 3 things which are allowed in India. Sole proprietor, partnership or LLP. So sole proprietor, we are going to call them as which auditors? Sir, individual auditor, because they solely run their practice. So this provision, meaning of rotation for the sole proprietor is one thing we have to understand, and meaning of rotation for partnership firms and LLP auditors, chartered accountant practicing firms, not sole proprietor. Firms we have to understand in one case. Now, in case you are a sole proprietor and you have been appointed as an auditor of a company, याद रखो हम लोग कंपनीज एक्ट कर रहे हैं, हम लोग पार्टनरशिप एक्ट, ट्रस्ट एक्ट, सोसाइटी एक्ट नहीं कर रहे, हम लोग कंपनीज की बात करेंगे. तो ये सारी प्रोविजंस कंपनीज के ऊपर है. पार्टनरशिप फर्म के ऊपर तुम जितने मर्जी साल कंटिन्यू करो, the number of years you want to continue with the same client which is a partnership firm, no problem. But if you are an auditor of the company and you are of what nature of auditor? Sole proprietor, sir, you cannot serve the same client, same company for more than one term of what? 5 years. तुम 5 साल से ज़्यादा कंटिन्यू नहीं करोगे. तुम्हारा मैक्सिमम ड्यूरेशन वन टाइम कितना? 5 years. और ये चीज़ हमने 139 सबसेक्शन 1 में ऑलरेडी पढ़ ली. ही विल बी अपॉइंटेड इन एन AGM टिल द कंक्लूजन ऑफ विच AGM? 6th AGM. तो इनडायरेक्टली फॉर ए ड्यूरेशन ऑफ वर्ड 5 years. तो यहाँ पे हम लोग किस ऑडिटर की बात कर रहे थे? इंडिविजुअल ऑडिटर की बात कर रहे थे. तो सेम हियर. सो सेक्शन नंबर 139(2) में क्या है कि इफ़ यू आर अ सोल प्रोप्राइटर एंड यू आर वर्किंग एज एन ऑडिटर इन अ कंपनी, then in that case you cannot serve the same company for more than what? One term of 5 years. तो one term का मीनिंग क्या है सर? 5 years है. और अगर आप if you are a partnership firm or a LLP auditors, you are serving a company, you cannot serve more than 2 terms of 5 years each. Means 5 plus 5, 10 years you can serve. But it doesn't mean that you cannot be removed. You can be removed. That we'll understand in section number 140. ठीक है, removal पढ़ेंगे 140 में. But here generally your term as an individual auditor you cannot serve for more than 5 years, and as a partnership or LLP auditor you cannot serve the same client for more than 2 terms of 5 years. Sir, क्या हम एग्जाम में 5 और 10 years लिख के आ सकते? आंसर इज नो सर. एग्जामिनर तुम्हें डायरेक्ट 0 marks देगा. नहीं लिखना. We have to write one term of 5 years and 2 terms of what? 5 years each. So I hope everyone understood. अगर हम individual auditor हैं तो 1 term of 5 years. अगर हम partnership और LLP हैं सर 2 terms of 5 years. सर 2 terms क्यों दी गई? क्योंकि भैया you are a partnership firm. Number of partners are more. So maximum 2 terms are only allowed. And more important one thing, ये तो हो गया external rotation. Internally also some internal rotation within the partnership also should take place. जैसे फर्स्ट ईयर में A did the audit, सेकेंड ईयर में B partner will do the audit, थर्ड ईयर में C partner will do the audit, फोर्थ ईयर again A will come, fifth year again B will come, sixth year. तो ABC, the 3 partners of the ABC and Co chartered accountancy firm, they should do internal rotation also, but maximum they can serve for only what? How many years guys? 10 years. और अगर आप sole proprietor हो तो you can serve not more than 1 term of 5 years. I hope everyone clear. Sir, after 5 years and after 10 years what will happen? After 5 years and after 10 years हमारा क्या होगा? Our cooling period will start. तो read, afterwards their cooling period shall start. क्या होता है cooling period? Cooling period is known as holiday period. सर holiday क्या हमें client हमें holiday package देगा? No, client तुम्हें कोई package नहीं देगा. You are not supposed to continue. You have to leave that client for the next 5 years. You are not supposed to continue with the same client for the next how many years? 5 years. तो अपन पूरा सेंटेंस पढ़ेंगे. After serving their respective terms. तो मैं दोनों को क्लियर कर दूं. Individual auditor means 5 years और partnership firm और LLP means 10 years. After serving 5 years or 10 years, they cannot serve the same company. Again, I'm using the word called company. We are talking about companies act. So these sections are only applicable on company. For the next what? 5 years, either directly or what? Indirectly. अच्छा, we students are very criminal minded. तो अपने स्टूडेंट्स के दिमाग में क्या आता है? सर एक काम करेंगे ना, 2010 to 2015 और से फॉर एग्जांपल 2020 to 2025 I served. After 2026 onwards I will take internal audit, not statutory audit. I left as a statutory audit and I will tell my client to give me the which audit? Internal audit. No sir, दिखना भी नहीं. You are not supposed to be seen in the same client having any kind of relationship, either directly or what? Indirectly, for the next how many years? 5 years. So if this auditor is leaving, he should leave completely, No indirect relationship is also allowed. It means he is not at all allowed to serve the same client even for any other services. Statutory auditor, as a statutory auditor, you left. After that, you are not allowed to serve the same client either directly or indirectly. So no other services also you can provide. And 5 years cooling period is applicable for both individual auditors and partnership firm or LLP auditors. Did you get the point or not? So that brings an end to the meaning of rotation. तो जल्दी quickly revise करेंगे. Section number क्या है? 139(2 है. Talks about rotation of auditor. What is the meaning? Meaning is of two types. One is for individual auditors, one is for partnership firm and LLP. Individual auditor cannot serve the same client, same company for more than one term of what? 5 years. But if you are a partnership firm or LLP, you cannot serve the same client, same company for more than what? 2 terms of 5 years is. So indirectly 10 years. सर आफ्टरवर्ड्स क्या स्टार्ट हो जाएगा? आवर कूलिंग पीरियड विल स्टार्ट आफ्टर सर्विंग योर टर्म ऑफ 5 years or 10 years. You can't serve the same company for the next what? 5 years, sir, either indirectly or directly. I hope I made it clear to everyone. समझ में आया तो लाइक करना, ठीक है? समझ में आया तो शेयर भी करना, तो सो दैट आपके स्टूडेंट्स भी इसका फ़ायदा उठा सके. चलो, ये हो गया अपना कूलिंग पीरियड. दिस इज़ व्हाट कूलिंग पीरियड इज़ ऑल अबाउट. चलो, ये हो गया अपना मीनिंग ऑफ रोटेशन भी हो गया. सर रोटेशन इज एप्लीकेबल टू एवरी कंपनी. चलो वो भी पढ़ लेते हैं. रोटेशन इज एप्लीकेबल टू whom? व्हाट इज एप्लीकेबिलिटी ऑफ रोटेशन? इफ यू आर अ लिस्टेड कंपनी, इफ यू आर अ लिस्टेड कंपनी, ऑलवेज मैंडेटरी. भैया लिस्टेड कंपनी को तो ऑलवेज मैंडेटरी टू अपॉइंट अ विच टू रोटेट व्हाट? देयर ऑडिटर. ऑडिटर मी हैज टू बी रोटेटेड इन केस ऑफ व्हाट? लिस्टेड कंपनी. बिकॉज लिस्टेड कंपनी के ऊपर किसका हाथ है? सेबी का हाथ है. तो सेबी क्या बोलता है कि नहीं भैया, तुम चाहे छोटी लिस्टेड कंपनी हो, इवन इफ यू आर अ स्मॉल लिस्टेड और बिग लिस्टेड कंपनी, यू ऑलवेज हैव टू रोटेट देयर व्हाट? योर व्हाट? ऑडिटर. तो ऑलवेज मैंडेटरी है, नो प्रोविजन काइंड ऑफ थिंग. बट सर what about other than listed company? Such other class of companies में what is the provision given? If you are such other class of company means what? If you are a unlisted public company, listed already covered हो गया guys. If you are a unlisted public company and if your paid up share capital is greater than equals to how much? 10 crores, then rotation is compulsory. But sir, what if my paid up share capital is 9.9 crores and I'm unlisted public company? Answer is no rotation is applicable. It means indirectly you can continue with your auditor for more than 5 or 10 years also, because your paid up share capital is less than what? 10 crores. But sir, if my paid up share capital is greater than equal to 10 crores and I am a which company? Unlisted public company, then rotation is mandatory. Then 5 years, 10 years term will be automatically applicable. Okay sir, what about the private company? In the private company same provision, but the paid up share capital should be greater than equal to how many crores? Sir 50 crores. सही है, 50 crores 20 crores से हुआ. Earlier it was 20 crores. Recently 1 or 2 years back 20 crores were increased to what? 50 crores. तो अगर आप प्राइवेट कंपनी हो और आपका पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल इज ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू 50 crores, then only rotation is applicable. Otherwise, if sir, what if it is 49.9 crores? Then in that case what will happen? As a private company also you can continue with your same auditor for more than one term of 5 years, or in case of LLP or partnership for more than 2 terms of 5 years. Sir, everyone crystal clear? Say yes. Okay, again repeat करवा दो सर एक बार. लिस्टेड कंपनी है तो ऑलवेज मैंडेटरी है. ओके, तो अनलिस्टेड कंपनी है, अनलिस्टेड में कौन सी कंपनी है? पब्लिक कंपनी है, तो पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल शुड बी ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू व्हाट? 10 crores to be mandatory for rotation. And private company में if the paid up share capital is more than equals to what? 50 crores for the rotation. Everyone clear guys? चलो सर, ये भी क्लियर हो गया. बट सर अगर दोनों कंपनी में अपनी यहाँ पे 9.9 crores है और यहाँ पे 49.9 crores है, आपने बोला कि रोटेशन इज नॉट कंपल्सरी. भाई कंप्लीटली नहीं बोला, लेट मी कंप्लीट. इफ द पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल प्रोविजंस इज नॉट सेटिस्फाइड, कहाँ पे? आइदर इन अनलिस्टेड पब्लिक कंपनी और इन प्राइवेट कंपनी. इफ द पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल कंडीशन इज नॉट सेटिस्फाइड, देन देयर इज अ कॉमन प्रोविजन. इफ देयर आउटस्टैंडिंग बोरोइंग्स आर ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू 50 crores ऑल्सो, देन ऑल्सो रोटेशन इज मैंडेटरी. सर एक बार रिपीट करवा दो. चलो, पेड अप शेयर अपन पब्लिक कंपनी की बात करते हैं, पब्लिक कंपनी, विच कंपनी, अनलिस्टेड पब्लिक कंपनी। तो व्हाट आर द टू कंडीशंस होगी इनडायरेक्टली, पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल शुड बी ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू 10 crores और बोरोइंग शुड बी ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू 50 crores। ये किसका हो गया, अनलिस्टेड पब्लिक कंपनी। ओके सर, प्राइवेट कंपनी का, तो प्राइवेट कंपनी का भी कर लेते हैं। तो प्राइवेट कंपनी का तो दोनों कंडीशन सेम है, पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल इज ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू व्हाट, 50 crores और borrowings should be greater than equal to what, 50 crores। So this is what, so this is a common provision, that's why I have not written up. So main provision is paid up share capital, paid up share capital. If paid up share capital in both the cases is not matching, then we'll check their borrowings. Borrowings should be greater than equal to 50 crores. So applicable to both unlisted public company as well as what, private company. But what we wrote here, such other class of companies में if you are an OPC 1% company and if you are a small company, rotation is not at all applicable. It means you are exempted from section number 139 subsection 2. So which companies are exempted, again repeat, if you are an OPC and if you are a which company, small company, you are not covered under this list. In this list only two companies are covered, कौन सी, unlisted public company and private, OPC and small are not covered. Okay, so such other class of companies does not include what, OPC and small companies. I hope everyone is clear. तो indirectly हम लोग क्या बोल रहे हैं, OPC exempted, small exempted, listed always mandatory, अनलिस्टेड पब्लिक कंपनी, देन टू कंडीशन, एक पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल कंडीशन और आउटस्टैंडिंग बोरिंग कंडीशन। पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल कितना, ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू 10 crores, आउटस्टैंडिंग बोरिंग कितना, ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू 50 crores। और अगर प्राइवेट कंपनी है तो पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल इज ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू 50 crores और आउटस्टैंडिंग बोरिंग्स आर ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू 50 crores। सर हमको समझ में आ गया सर? यस सर, हमें 139 कंप्लीटली अंदर घुस गया, इट इज कंप्लीटली इनसाइड अस। नाउ वी विल नेवर फॉरगेट द सेक्शन नंबर 139 सबसेक्शन 2। लेकिन समटाइम्स दिस काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चन कम्स इन द एग्जामिनेशन। अब सुनो, लेट्स टेक एन एग्जांपल। सपोज देयर इज वन कंपनी कॉल्ड XYZ Limited and there is one company called XYZ Limited. In this XYZ Limited, ABC and Co. CA firm is already an auditor, but they are vacating because their 10 years are over. So their two terms of 5 years each are over. So they are outgoing auditor. They are which auditor? Outgoing auditor. Okay. Now outgoing auditor, so somebody will be incoming auditor. So suppose APQ and Co. The another CA firm has been appointed as a incoming auditor. So they are outgoing auditor and they are what? Incoming auditor. ठीक है सर? तो ABC and Co हो गया outgoing auditor and APQ and Co हो गया incoming auditor. Okay sir. तो sir, are you able to see any common thing between ABC and Co which is outgoing and APQ and Co which is incoming? Yes sir, we are not blind. We are able to see that Mr. A is a common partner. Mr. A is a common partner between whom and whom? Between ABC and Co and between APQ and Co. अब क्या प्रॉब्लम है? If, अब सुनो प्रोविजन, if there is a common partner, common control, common management, common brand name, common trade name. Again repeating, if there is a common partner, common control, common management, common brand name, common trade name, between whom and whom? Between outgoing auditor. Between which auditor? Outgoing auditor and incoming auditor. Outgoing auditor and incoming auditor. Then the auditors will be disqualified. Auditors will be disqualified for the next what? 5 years. Sir, is this a cooling period? No, it is not a cooling period. Cooling period, what we have done above, cooling period of 5 years is a provision of the act. It is a provision कि they are telling you with respect that कि भैया please leave the company, your term is over. Now what is this? This is disqualification. It is a penalty. It is a punishment कि both the auditors will be disqualified for the next what? 5 years. अगले 5 साल तक, for the next 5 years, neither ABC and Co can be appointed by XYZ nor APQ and Co. Sir, what APQ and Co has done? That is very innocent from no innocency, because Mr. A is a common partner. So, if you find any of these five things common between outgoing auditor and incoming auditor, then both the auditors will be disqualified for the next, guys, how many years? 5 years. So this is not a provision, this is a punishment, and cooling period is a provision. So don't mix both of them. So what are the five things? Common partner, common control, common management, common brand name, common ट्रेड नेम. नाउ अभी ऊपर पढ़ लेंगे सर क्या हुआ. इफ देर इज अ कॉमन पार्टनर, कॉमन कंट्रोल, कॉमन मैनेजमेंट, कॉमन ब्रांड नेम, कॉमन ट्रेड नेम, between incoming auditor and between whom outgoing auditor, then the auditors will be disqualified for the next 5 years. So I hope every provision in section number 139 and section number 139 subsection 2 I made it clear. So if I have made you understand everything, so make sure that you are putting a like button and you are subscribing my channel, and make sure that this is my Facebook details are there, this is my Telegram details are there, this is my YouTube channel, and the name of the YouTube channel is Grover Audit and Law CA classes. So make sure that you are hitting a like button, hitting a share button, and most importantly hitting a subscribe button. So I'll be keep on uploading these kind of videos on daily basis. So 1 or 2 videos, so 1 video on audit, 1 video on law, like that I'll be keep on uploading. Sometimes 1 video on SM. So you just pass the comments in the comment section if you really like the video, what next topic you want me to upload in this way, like particular section or particular provision where you're finding a difficulty, and sooner I'll be uploading the RTP of May 2020 examination, which are unfortunately due to COVID are going to happen in July. So RTP for CA final audit, RTP discussion for CA inter law, RTP discussion for CA inter audit, and RTP discussion for CA inter SM. So all these RTP discussions I'm going to discuss with you, along with the necessary amendments which have taken place for your May examination as well as for the November examination. I hope I made it clear to everyone the intention of these particular small videos. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you so much again. And if you really like the video, I already told you, please subscribe my YouTube channel and ensure that you are always updated with law, audit and SM. As always, with CA Rohit Grover. Thank you so much for listening again. Thanks for lending your patient ears. So I will borrow it again in the next video. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.